Hello everybody, and welcome back to Let's Play A Golden Wake. Last time we got into George Merrick's employ, and it is several months later and we have a fancy new office and a whole bunch of other employees, and it seems we're doing pretty well, but we still have room to move up. Anyway, Mr. Merrick wants to see us. Let's see what he wants.
Alfie, good to see you. Please come in. How do you like the new office?
It's a bit crowded, but much nicer looking than the one downtown.
The success of Coral Gables isn't going to be about money or sales. It's about aesthetics.
Well, you've certainly gone above and beyond in that department, sir.
There's no need to be so formal. We're all a big family here. Please call me George.
Fair enough. What was it you wanted to see me about, George?
Ah, yes, of course. I'm giving you a very special assignment. We've been doing fantastic with sales thus far, but I've decided to try a new approach. I'm calling the project State Days. Each week, we'll bring down a group of people by bus from a different state. But it won't just be enough to show them around. We need something more. A spectacle.
What kind of spectacle?
Ah, this is where you come in. I want you to ask around, see if you can find some sort of performer or show that will impress the crowds.
I really wouldn't know where to begin.
You're a resourceful young fellow. I'm sure you'll find something. Which reminds me. Here you are, the keys to your own company car. It should make getting around town much easier.
No fooling? My own car?
It's cheaper for us to have you drive yourself around rather than pay for taxi rides. You can drive, can't you?
Well, I admit it's been a while.
Just take care not to run into any ditches and you should be fine. Oh, and also, this telegram arrived for you this morning. I was going to send it along with my secretary, but you got here first. Now get to it. I've got a group from New York coming in 2 days and I want some entertainment for them.
I'm on it.
Alright, we've been given a new quest to find entertainment for the masses that we are going to sell to. Okay. Let's check things out here. This is fancy. An ornate hexagonal bench looks as though it would be better suited in a sultan's harem than a real estate office. True. Alright, A Quiet Pond by Robert Byron. A serene landscape, but you wouldn't hang it in your own living room. Okay. Seems to be an artist's rendition of a tall tower. The plaque identifies it as La Giralda in Seville, Spain. Alright. Portrait of a young man by Samuel Sheen. The subject of the painting looks quite sullen. Perhaps he didn't like being painted in the nude. Okay. The Forest Sprite by Reginald Kirk is some sort of fantasy setting, and while you don't particularly care for the subject matter, the palette is pleasing. George seems to be right at home in his new office. Alright, and I don't think we have...
George?
Yes, Alfie?
How's everything coming along?
Wonderfully. Thank you for asking. Clearly, you can see progress by way of the new office, but we're also expanding to larger projects. I've got my head architect designing a luxury pool, and our largest project is in the initial phase.
What exactly is this mysterious project I keep hearing about?
It'll be announced soon. I just need to iron out some details. But it will be worth the wait, I can assure you.
We heard about that pool before, and there's something else going on.
I'm having a bit of trouble thinking of a suitable spectacle for you.
Put yourself in the shoes of the tourists. Remember that what we're selling here is not land. It isn't just a piece of ground on which to put a house. What we are really selling is romance. The stars and the moon, the tropics, the wind off the blue waters, and the perfume of flowers that never grew in northern climes. You need to find something that will excite them even more than that.
That's all for now.
Well, that's not putting any pressure on me, is it? Anyway, let's take a look at this telegram. You read the telegram which has been sent from your brother, Beauregard. Alfie, mother informed me of your success in Florida. Have come to Miami to visit you. Had no personal contact details, so sent message to your office. Beat me for lunch at Gables Diner on Aragon Avenue. Looking forward to seeing you, Beau. You fold up the telegram and toss it away with mild annoyance. How like Beauregard to just show up when things are going well for you. Still, as he is your brother, you make a note to meet him for lunch. But yeah, to progress with the plot, you actually have to look at that and read it. My second playthrough when I was getting the achievement for getting all the commentary, I forgot to do that and I was wondering, well, why can't I go to the diner? Well, it doesn't appear until you do that. Anyway. So here's our company car. Alright, so we are very well trusted. It's your very own company car, although to be fair, company jalopy would be a more apt description. I guess it's not a great car. Not even a very good car, but it will get us from place to place, I guess. Alright, so we have a few options. We're still a member of the men's club, so we can now visit there when we want. But there's no point in going there now. So, let's see. Let's go to where Doc Dammers is going to have his demonstration. Doc is working on some kind of bizarre setup on a wooden table. It seems Doc has spent some kind of set up some kind of miniature model meant to depict downtown Coral Gables. Ooh.
So what's this all about?
The future, my boy, the future!
And what will I be doing exactly?
You're going to be my plant in the crowd, but there's one last thing I need before we're ready to go.
What's that?
I seem to have misplaced my model streetcar, or maybe I left it back at the sales office. Could you go have a look while I finish setting up?
I'm on it.
Alright, so let's remember that we're going to have to look for his streetcar. But I'm not going to go do that right away. Let's see, let's go to the diner. Our brother's probably waiting for us.
There he is.
Beauregard, how nice to see you.
Oh, why so formal, Alfred? Aren't you glad to see your brother?
Of course, I just wish I'd had a bit more of a warning is all.
Oh, come on. Who needs warnings with family? Anyway, let's have a seat. I was about to chew my own arm off waiting for you.
I guess he's hungry.
So, tell me what you've been up to.
So you can do any one of these in any order.
I've been doing fairly well, to be honest. I managed to get hired by George Merrick my first day down here.
Well, ain't that just the berries? That your heap out there?
Yes, I was given a company car this morning.
Hate to imagine what company it's been keeping.
What's that supposed to mean?
I just figured a high-profile guy like Merrick could afford something nicer, is all.
Yeah, we might have to talk to him about that.
I'm working on an assignment at the moment.
Oh yeah? What?
I've been put in charge of finding a spectacle to sell lots to people coming in from out of town.
No kidding. Sounds like fun.
It's not fun, it's work.
So, who's to say work can't be fun?
You've never worked a day in your life, Bo. How would you know?
Are you gonna start with that baloney again?
Fair point. Anyhow, I have yet to find anything suitable.
Well, if it helps, I overheard that guy over there talking about how his wife was a wing walker or something. Might be something worth looking into.
You know, it just might. Thank you, Bo.
That's interesting.
Why don't you tell me what you've been up to?
Not too much, really. I've kind of been in a rut, to tell the truth. I feel like I could use a change.
Why don't you go to work for the company?
Morris is still peeved at what happened with you. He hasn't been very receptive.
Oh. Look, about that.
You don't have to explain yourself, Alfie. I know you couldn't possibly have done what he says you did. Whatever really happened, you're better off having left that place.
Thank you, Bo. I appreciate your support.
Alright, so yeah, things aren't going too well up there, but that's alright, we're out of there.
It's been great catching up with you, Bo, but I really should get going. How long are you planning on being in town for?
Well, actually, I was considering moving down here too.
Really? You're gonna leave Mother alone?
She'll be fine. She's got plenty of friends in the neighborhood. Besides, it's gotten to the point where I'm feeling like more of a burden than a help.
And she's actually letting little baby Bo come down here on his own?
Knock it off, will ya? She doesn't mind it so much knowing you're here. Anyway, I'll be here if you get any more time off today.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Alright, so yeah, he'll be here all day. I guess he has nothing better to do. But yeah, I guess these are the two he was talking about.
Pardon the interruption, folks.
Huh? Oh, what can I do for you?
Pleasure to meet you, sir. And madam, my name is Alfred Banks, but please call me Alfie.
How do you do, Alfie? The name's Richard Burns, but everyone calls me Curly. Over there's my wife, Mabel Cody.
Pleasure's all mine, Mr. Banks.
Are you folks from down here originally?
Nah, we're just traveling around with our act.
Your act?
Sure, ain't you heard of Mabel Cody's Flying Circus?
So we have more real life characters from history, Mabel, Cody, and Curly.
I'm afraid I haven't. Please, tell me about it.
Why, it's the most exciting and daring show you'll see all year. We got a biplane which flies unbelievably low to the ground, and Mabel walks across the wings. We've been touring all across the state, impressing crowds in the hundreds.
Sounds exciting. Are you for hire?
Always. Who's interested?
Have you ever heard of George Merrick?
The guy who's developing this area? Sure.
Well, he's in need of a spectacle to entertain crowds he's planning on bringing in from out of state. I think your flying circus would fit the bill perfectly.
Sounds good. But don't forget about our little issues, Curly.
Of course.
Is there a problem?
A couple, actually. But really, they're more minor setbacks than problems. Our pilot just quit to get married, so we haven't got anyone to fly our plane. Then there's the plane itself, which got a bit damaged during the last show. And of course, the small issue of requiring payment in advance. But we can still talk business. These are just minor setbacks that can be easily resolved, I'm sure.
So they have some issues, and so of course we have a quest within a quest. In order to get the entertainment, we need to help the entertainment get their show back on the road.
You say you haven't got a pilot?
Well, at the moment, no. Like I said, our guy quit last week.
I heard there's a pretty good pilot in town, but we haven't been able to get a hold of him.
Oh, yeah, the Flynn or something like that. If we could get him on board, that would be just ducky.
Flynn?
What's wrong with your plane?
Nothing too serious. It's being worked on right now. The mechanic said it should be ready by next week.
I don't know if Mr. Merrick wants to wait that long. Where's the plane now? Maybe I can see about speeding up the process.
It's over at the airfield near Granada Boulevard.
Alright, and the payment.
About your payment.
Of course, of course. Our fee is $50 up front. That gets you a full show which lasts 30 minutes.
I'm afraid I haven't got that kind of money on me. I'll have to ask Mr. Merrick about it.
Sure, not a problem. Just let us know when you've got the dough.
And of course they'll be at the diner all day as well.
I appreciate your time.
No sweat, pal.
And I actually think there is a history commentary here.
Mabel Cody was a wing walker who claimed to be the niece of Buffalo Bill Cody, although whether or not that's true is still up for debate. She and her husband toured Florida doing stunts with Mabel Cody's Flying Circus, and when they reached South Florida they were hired by George Merrick's Coral Gables project to do promotional shows. They painted the words Coral Gables in large letters underneath the wings of the airplane, and did shows from the Granada airfield, which used to be an open stretch of land but is now a golf course.
Okay. So yeah, that's Mabel Cody. So let's see what we can do now. We're going to have a whole bunch of new places open up to us. Well, not a whole bunch, but let's see. So let's go to the airfield and see about that plane. How you doing, buddy?
Hello there, my good man.
Yes, sir?
Curly and Mabel sent me to check up on things. How long before this beauty is up in the sky again?
Shouldn't be more than a week. I'm kind of stuck waiting right now. There isn't much else I can do at the moment.
What is it you're waiting on?
I have 2 parts on their way. One's a piece for the rudder, and the other's a magneto for the engine.
What about this magneto you mentioned?
The magneto for the ignition is damaged, and I'm waiting on a replacement to come in.
What sort of engine is it?
Curtiss OX5. Fairly common engine in these types of planes. Some boats, too. Unreliable piece of junk, really. But they mostly get the job done.
Any idea where I'd be able to get one?
Order from the manufacturer, like I did. Aside from that, any place where there's lots of planes or boats would have them in spades.
I think that gives me an idea. By the way, where is the magneto usually found on the engine?
Right at the bottom in front. Can't miss it.
Alright.
How badly is the rudder damaged?
See for yourself. Looks like something took a bite out of it.
So what are you waiting on to fix it?
A new rudder top. Should be here in a few days.
Is there anything that might be used as a substitute?
Any decent-sized wooden plank would do in a pinch, sure.
Alright.
You look awfully young to be an airplane mechanic. How long have you been doing this for?
6 months next week. But I've been working on planes since I was a kid. My father was an airplane mechanic during the war, see? So he taught me everything he knew.
Alright, good for you.
I'll let you get on with it.
See ya.
I love how they always manage to mention sort of historical stuff, like he's talking about the war, which once again is World War I. Haven't gotten into World War II quite yet. So now we have a quest within a quest within a quest to get that plane fixed, and the marina opens up after that, but let's not go there quite yet. Let's see about that model streetcar now. Now, first it annoyed me that it always has to do this animation of you pulling up every time you come here, because when you're trying to, figure out what to do, you have to go through that animation over and over again. But the reason that Francisco Gonzalez decided to do this was to show off the sales office, because this is what it looked like. Sales office is certainly a step up from the tiny one on Flagler Street. So yeah, it's to sort of show off the different locations. Is there any sort of... Nope. Alright. Doesn't seem to be a model streetcar on the desk. Let's ask this guy if he knows anything.
Got a moment, Wilson?
Of course, Banks. What can I do for you?
Say, you've been around all morning. Did you happen to notice a model streetcar on Doc's desk?
Oh,
Is something wrong?
Banks, you have to promise me you won't say anything.
All right, mum's the word. What's the problem?
When Doc left earlier, I noticed the model streetcar on his desk. I went to get it so I could go after him and let him know he left it behind. But I accidentally knocked it on the floor and, well, the little antenna it had on it broke off. I feel terrible about it, but there's nothing I can do.
Oh, is that all? Don't worry about it. Let me have the model and I'll see about fixing it. And don't worry, Doc will be none the wiser.
Thank you, Banks. I owe you one.
See you around.
Alright, so we have the streetcar. It's a small yellow toy streetcar. It seems to be missing the antenna at the top. Alright, what else we need to do is see about getting money. And I forget, is there any sort of history here? There is. I almost forgot this one.
Aside from his amazing real estate know-how, George Merrick was admirable for another reason. His main priority was aesthetics. When he designed Coral Gables, he had a plan and a theme: Mediterranean and Spanish-style buildings following the City Beautiful movement. He knew how to market. Writing up the ads wasn't enough. He would include line drawings in the advertisements done by prominent illustrators of the time in order to entice people. What he sold were beauty and ideals. Coral Gables came off as a lush, tropical paradise. Despite the fact that Merrick was incredibly successful with his sales, he didn't just sit back and let the profits roll in. Instead, he took all the money he made and put it right back into the city he so cared about.
And I think that's cool. That's the glory of capitalism, that people who really get things done, don't do things halfway and become successful, can then ultimately benefit the community in which they're earning from. So yeah, good stuff. I like this George Merrick guy.
George?
Yes, Alfie?
I think there might be something wrong with the car you gave me.
Oh? Has it given you any trouble?
It just sort of makes this clunking noise sometimes.
I was told it was in perfectly acceptable working order. Oh well, as long as it gets you around, you'll be alright.
You sure? 'Cause that might get me stranded if it decides to not be in working order.
I think I may have found your spectacle.
Wonderful. What is it?
Mabel Cody's Flying Circus. She's a wing walker. Does all kinds of stunts, apparently.
Sounds like a terrific find. Well done.
There's just one thing. She and her husband require payment in advance.
I see. How much?
$50 for a 30-minute show.
Reasonable enough, I suppose. You'll have to take the money out of our business account. Just head over to the Bank of Coral Gables and tell them I sent you to withdraw the money.
That's all for now.
That's what I like. He's not afraid of spending money to make investments that will ultimately benefit himself and the company and everyone in general. So now we've got a few things done, but what will Doc Damer's demonstration be about? Can we get that money from the bank? Can we fix the plane? Can we get a pilot? Well, let's start on these tasks next time on Let's Play A Golden Wake. Thank you for watching and have a good day.